President Zuma speaks out on the right to expression and two more cases of learners with suspected meningitis. Good afternoon to you. President Jacob Zuma says government will defend the right of its people to express themselves in any manner, including protest action. He's told the National Assembly that the only exception is if people violate the rights of others, such as destroying property or stopping other people from exercising their own rights. Zuma was replying in the debate on the presidency's budget vote. On Tuesday, the ANC marched on the Goodman Gallery in Johannesburg to demand that a controversial painting of Zuma be removed. In his speech, Zuma evoked the memory of Khoisan woman, Sarah Baartman, whose private parts and brain were displayed in museums in Paris and London during the 19th century. He says South Africa doesn't want to reopen those wounds. South Africa's crude oil imports from Iran fell 43% to 286 tons in April from the previous month. South Africa's come under Western pressure to cut Iranian crude imports as part of U.S. sanctions designed to halt Iran's suspected pursuit of atomic weapons. The response from South Africa has been unclear for months. The Revenue Service says the value of crude imports from Iran fell to 1.7 billion rand in April from 3 billion rand the previous month. Imports from Saudi Arabia have nearly doubled to 671 tons. Two more cases of learners with suspected meningitis have been reported outside Brits in the northwest. They've been admitted to hospital. 3 other primary school learners have died after contracting the disease. Sisi Sekhalo reports.
Parents say they are worried about the health of their children. This morning, they were allowed to take their children home after being immunized. Health authorities have been immunizing children in the school, and a total of 1,200 will be immunized along with their teachers. The health department confirms that 2 more learners presenting with the symptoms of meningitis have been admitted at Brits Hospital.
COSATU has expressed annoyance with comments made by the Deputy President, Kgalema Motlanthe, that a decision taken in a March meeting with the ANC to delay Gauteng e-tolls by a month was only a recommendation. The Deputy President said earlier that government was considering legislation to bail out the National Roads Agency for 6 months. COSATU's General Secretary, Zwelinzima Vavi, says he rejects government's interpretation of the meeting with contempt.
The ANC says it is a strategic political center. When we engage it, we engage in a strategic political center, not an NGO, who can only merely make recommendations to the superpower being government. This is frightening, by the way, that type of a language coming from the press conference of government, because that's how the 1996 class project framed politics in the country. The protocol was that the government is more important than the ANC.
The Green Paper on land reform will threaten the free market system, enhance racism and be a threat to food security. This was some of the statements made at a conference on the impact of land reform in Pretoria. Benny van Zyl is from Farmers Union Tau SA.
At this stage, we put down a blueprint from a number of organizations that we put down as a discussion document to create something better, to create something that is more economical driven, that creates some opportunities for all the role players in the whole country to make better success out of that. And that is a discussion document. There's quite a lot of elements within that still have to be discussed, but that is something positive.
The F.W. de Klerk Foundation, meanwhile, says the Green Paper is a document of racial mobilization against white farmers. Executive Director Dave Stewart says the degree of racial aggression that it contains is impossible to ignore.